Good evening and welcome to Hidden Gems Podcast. I'm your host, Deanna Bradley, and this is part 2 of our segment, Life After Incarceration. To my right is my guest, Mr. Dale Locklear. Say hello to the people, Dale.
Hello, everyone.
Is that all you got to say?
That's it right now.
Okay, this is how we gonna do today. That it's okay. To my left, I have my GEMS secretary, and right quick before we get started, she's gonna talk to us a little bit about where you can find us, where you can follow us on our social media platforms. All right, Miss Kiera, take it away.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kiera. And you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at GEMS, GE2MS, Twitter, GEMS1, GE2MS1, TikTok, GE2MS01, and YouTube, GE2MS.
Cool.
And on our YouTube is where our podcast will be uploaded.
Absolutely. And so, well, thank you, Miss Kiera. So we are looking forward to you guys seeing what we have coming up, because we do have, should I talk about it? No.
Well,
I'll wait.
We'll
Let's
wait
surprise the people.
Yeah.
But let's jump right in. Life after incarceration. Best place to start, the beginning.
Well, first, before I do that, I do want to say thank you to Miss Kiera for the wonderful job she's doing with GEMS, being the secretary.
Absolutely.
I do want to do that. So let's start from the beginning.
From the beginning.
Okay, so I guess the beginning, I would say started after I lost my dad at 5. I was 5. My dad died. I was the only son. 4 sisters growing up in the house. I learned at a very early age what becoming a young man was, being the only son. I didn't along the way make excuses for my dad not being there. I didn't do that because he was killed. It wasn't like he was still alive and he just left and abandoned us. It was a totally different situation. So I didn't go through life angry from that point. I went through life missing and having an emptiness. And as I grew older, like I said, I was the only son. So a lot of times, I had cousins that I would go play with, but I got picked on a lot. I got beat up, They would say, who you going to go do? Tell your sisters, So I think a lot of things when I was younger played a part when I got older in the route that I took. And why I say that is, being the only son, my mother taught me love. Mm-hmm. To love. My dad was kind of abusive, so that kind of traumatized me as a kid, seeing that and not being able to do anything about it at 5 years old. So growing up, my mom, as I got older, taught me love. She taught me how to respect a woman and how to treat a woman as a lady, because I had sisters, and that was very important. So I think along the way I got too deep in trying to pour out and doing those things.
Okay, so when you say you got too deep in trying to pour out, okay, what do you mean by that?
My jail time came behind my first kid's mother.
Okay.
And when I say pour more out, because of those values my mom taught me about respecting a woman and dating, and if you're involved and taken care of. And I think there were signs that things were happening after our kids, after 4 years into this relationship, and having a house and being seriously involved. There were things that were happening that I overlooked.
Okay, so you're basically talking about those red flags.
Those red flags.
Okay,
right.
So one of the things that I've noticed that a lot of times when people are in relationships, or let me take that back, when we speak about the older generation,
right?
They did place emphasis on you being there. You do what a man is supposed to do. You do what a woman is supposed to do. But they put a period there where there should have been a semicolon. In other words, nobody ever talked about reciprocity. Right. Nobody ever talked about, okay, we're going to be in this together. How do we make that work? Because everybody doesn't understand that. Right. So if you get caught up in the loop where I'm going to be the good person in the relationship, I'm going to do everything that I was taught to do, that kind of leaves the person in the background wondering, okay, well, if he's doing all of that, what I need to change for? What do I need to kick in for? I can do what I want to do because he going to be right there. Right. So bring us up to that. How did that?
So by doing that, and I, got involved with hustling and other things too, because I enjoyed the money. I mean, the truth be known, we don't do it as a means of survival in the beginning. We do it to kind of make it through, but we get too deep, like the movie says. And once you get used to the money and a certain lifestyle and those qualities my mom gave me, now it's even worse because now I got the money, I got a little bit of power, and you're just explosion, But betrayal, it became a point where when you're living that kind of life, you're around a lot of different kind of people that do and don't care and do care, and maybe they will care about a lot of different things. And one of those things is women, females. I mean, like, if that's your girl, don't think nobody else is going to be trying to get at her. And those are the things that cost me my jail time, because when I say I got in too deep, something happened with a friend, and I caught him, and I was in too deep. My mental state flipped, and I did things that I never thought I would do based off how I was raised.
Okay, can we explore that a little bit? Because you said, if that's your girl, don't think that nobody else will try to. Well, back
then, I mean, I'm saying if it's your girl, never think somebody else is not trying to get at them or talk to them.
Well, see, the reason why I wanted to go back to that
right.
is because when you are who you are and you know that this is where I want to be.
Right.
It doesn't matter who comes at that person when they are right. focused
and I get
on
that,
the
but
same
I was
things that you're
21
focused.
when this happened. At 21, I wasn't at that point. I really wasn't. Based on my lifestyle, I was living and hustling. My mentality wasn't to that point. And
so is it safe to say that you pretty much knew what you had at home? Did you know, or did you?
No, not in the beginning, because it didn't start out like that. Things that were going on, I didn't know that was going on. I found out through people, and me saying, "Nah, man, that can't be true." I get that, But then you start realizing what they're saying, and things start playing back in your mind, and you be like, "Damn." Oh, dog. I'm sorry.
We get it.
But you be like, dog, okay, that's why on this day, okay. So stuff starts coming together for you. Like you say, dot the I's and,
Cross the T's.
Stuff start coming together and you're like, wow, okay, maybe they're not lying. But then when you see it, and the night that I saw it, and it's important for men and women to understand mental health is a very serious thing. You can't play with people's emotions.
Absolutely.
You cannot, because nobody can say what they will and won't do until they're put in a situation.
Absolutely.
And everybody has not been put in every possible situation to make them react in a certain manner.
Absolutely, and that is priceless, because on upcoming episodes of Hidden Gems, we're going to explore that, because I think that what's happening even today,
right?
A lot of times people are unaware. You can only assume that a person will handle certain things a certain way. But there's always that X factor. There's always that unknown, and what we like to call the extemporaneous. There's always that aspect of every relationship, because until you have, like you said, until you have been placed in that position, you don't know how you're going to react. And usually when it's a reckless thing, it's a reaction.
Right.
Because it's driven by emotion.
Right. And it certainly was. That's why I say I was in too deep. That's
what
I mean by that, going back to that. And I was. And, you know, that night I played back in my mind a million times while I was in locked up before my trial. Even when I got out, you know, bonded out after a while, because it took 2 years before my trial. And the bad thing is, even though I bonded out, every time I got a job, my attorney would say, hey, you got to be in court. You know, so now you got to sit in court for a week, and they might not even call your case. So now you done lost another job. So it's really hard. And, you know, so... but that's what happened. I was facing 40 years at 21 years old, and with a newborn baby that was two years old. And, you know, when I don't care how hard you are, what people say, when you're standing in front of people that can make a decision about your life.
Absolutely.
And you have no more control over what is about to happen with your life, it's a scary feeling. And when they told me 40 years, this is what they're offering me 40. Oh, that's an offer? I'm like, really? That's an offer? 40 is an offer. Okay, right. So no, I can't do that. I'll be 40. My son will be 42 when I get out. You crazy? So, but in the gist of it, we came together, but in the end, I think I was forced into taking a situation that I really didn't have to. I was young, I spent a lot of money, even though I hustled, it cost me a lot of money. And I could have pleaded self-defense, because in the end, he shot at me first and then hit me in the head with his gun, and it was his own gun that I fired back at him with after those actions. But, you know, things happen, and I did my time, and I'm thankful I made it through it.
Absolutely.
I thank God. I think the biggest, I just want to end or say this, I think one of the biggest things that affected me more than anything while I was locked up is I felt like I let my mom down.
Wow.
I mean, out of everything, like I could deal with everything else, but that one thing the whole while I was in there tore at me and made me not want to go back. Because I don't want to see that look on her face anymore. When
Absolutely.
They put me in handcuffs, and I look back like most of us do when we get escorted out of that courtroom and we know we're not going to see them for a while. Mm-hmm. And that look that she had on her face, that's a look I didn't want to give her again. Now, I'm not saying she hasn't had it behind closed doors for whatever reasons, but I haven't seen it from a courtroom and being handcuffed. So I thank God for that.
Oh, yeah. So that was then. So bring us up to 2023, because we are focusing on life after incarceration.
After incarceration, okay. So here we are, 2023. 96, I got in the automotive business, stumbled on it. God gave me a chance to own the dealership. And the one thing, God bless his soul, he's passed now, but he gave me my first opportunity in the automotive business. And I can honestly say I thank him for that, because he told me that day, I see something in you that you don't see in yourself. And I stood there like, what? What are you? And he gave me his business card and said, look, I own a dealership in Fuquay-Varina. Stop there and tell him I sent you. I did, and here I am in 1996. This is 23. I've been in the automotive business. I've helped a lot of people. I've sold a lot of cars. I've accomplished a lot of things, and I did not let my incarceration determine who and what I wanted to do after I got out. It hasn't been easy. My past has come back to haunt me several times over with getting better jobs or better positions or even being promoted. So don't let anyone tell you any different when you're young. That's why it bothers me when I see the younger kids,
Oh yeah.
especially men, because we got to be there for, as dads, there's a big role we play, that even the moms play a big role as mom. But as dads and fathers, there's a bigger role we play. My dad wasn't there, and I can honestly say, if it hadn't been for the grace of God and prayers, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be in the car business. But I think whoever it was that prayed for me, and I thank him for protecting me, because he's the only father I ever known since I was 5 years old. And that's deep. I mean, that's deep, when you realize that. So,
Absolutely. Well, Dale, we do appreciate you coming on Hidden Gems and sharing your hidden gem with us, because sometimes we do need to hear it. It's not enough for someone to say, I understand what you're going through or what you have gone through. It doesn't carry as much weight if you've never walked a mile in their shoes. So we thank you for joining us, Hidden Gems. Catch us on the flip side.